So grab your headphones, let the journey start. With Susie's Vegas tales, she's stealing the heart. In the city of dreams, let's laugh and play. Susie's Las Vegas podcast, come join the sway.
Well, hello, we're back, and this is February, and I hope everybody had a fantastic Valentine's Day. I know I did, so I'm back working again. I'm enjoying it, and it's a pleasure to be back. So with that being said, we are going to have a wonderful show today, and I've got a special guest here. His name is Mike Watkins. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hello. Doing great.
Yeah. Well, you're a veteran, I take it, in the TV business.
Yes, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Okay.
The years have snuck up on me.
Yeah. So right now, now years ago you were at Channel 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And your business now is ad tech.
Yes.
Okay, that's what, a full service marketing?
Yeah, we do a little bit of everything, starting with strategy, and then putting the right tools in place to help businesses grow.
Okay, well, from being at Channel 8, you probably had a chance to see all the businesses out there, and some people had, better luck than others. And so how did you get into the business, if you don't mind me asking?
I did get a degree in journalism and marketing from the University of Florida. I'm a Gator.
There you go. Go Gators.
Exactly, go Gators. And then I came out to Vegas, where most of my family lived, and started looking for a job.
Okay.
And I started working. I worked for a couple of ad agencies back at that time. That was in the late 80s, and Bell Advertising.
Okay, I remember that name.
With Ron Bell.
Yeah.
Ran that. A couple of others that, let's see, AdMart was one. I worked with them for a while. So I did copywriting work and video production. And then I really wanted a steady job because they weren't as steady, and so I wanted to get into media, and I applied at Channel 8 as a beginning salesperson.
Oh, that must have been interesting.
Got into the world of sales.
Yeah.
Yes, and I had zero sales experience. So I learned how to sell just to get that job. I sent a letter every single week to the general sales manager, just telling them how I deserved to get a job there, and 6 months later they hired me.
Well, see, there you go.
Persistence.
That's what it is. So on that, you were able to see every facet of the advertising business, weren't you?
Yeah. What I loved about that role is that you had an opportunity to learn how businesses work.
Okay.
Because you would approach all kinds of different businesses, many of them who didn't understand television advertising, thought that it was out of reach for them, but
sure.
I'd call in a lot of small businesses.
Most people do think it is, don't they?
Well, they hear of what a Super Bowl commercial costs, and
Yeah.
they just think there's no way.
Yeah.
Local television, of course, is a different animal, and I would sit down in a discovery meeting and learn how companies sold, how they made a profit, who their
Right.
target audience was. And I really enjoyed being exposed to all these different kinds of companies and then coming up with a solution for them and helping them. So that's really how I got started, and still doing that today.
So when did you start ad tech? And what does the name mean, Mike?
Yeah,
I'm sure our audience will be.
Ad tech is
Yeah.
kind of a play on words, of course. So the AD is for advertising. TAC is a sailing term.
Okay.
So before I started the company and after I had left Channel 8, really wanting to be an entrepreneur and start something new, I also got into sailing. So I took a 3-week sailing class in Santa Barbara, California.
Yay.
I was on a sailboat every day.
That sounds
I had
wonderful.
all kinds of different instruction, and was certified as a bareboat sailor, meaning that I could go and charter boats and
Wow.
So when I was thinking about the name of the advertising firm, I liked the synergy there, and it's when the winds change, you adjust your sails.
Right.
And so there's lots of applications there, and to tack is to adjust your sails so you're moving the bow of the ship across the direction of the wind, and so you're as the wind changes, you're adjusting your direction.
Uh-huh.
And so that was how ad tack was born. We also, play off of the attack term, and that we're your secret weapon. And
Okay.
we create an attack plan, but it's more of a sailing. When
Yeah.
the winds of business change, adjust your sails.
There you go. Well, my husband, Steve, he loves to sail. He would sail in California. He spent a lot of time on the water. And then over here, is your boat here now? Is it? Or
I
did
had
you-
a boat in Lake Mead, and
But-
it's a very difficult place to sail. And
I was
it's
gonna
not
say,
really
yeah.
designed for sailing. There's sailboats out there, but
Right.
the wind whips off of the mountains, and it's hard to just sit back and enjoy the direction of the wind and sail calmly.
Yeah.
And so I moved my boat to Ventura, California, and kept it out there for a while, and then sold it. So
Yeah. What do they say? The happiest day is when you buy it.
and when you sell it,
Yeah. Wow. So what type of customer do you have? Like say somebody's in business and they want to contact you. Give me some ideas on the people that you're looking for and
Sure.
how you can help.
So a lot of agencies pick niches that they just stay in,
Right.
Such as banks or automotive, or we don't necessarily stay in any particular niche, and that's because we just really look for the right fit for us. And the right fit is a business that wants to grow. They are comfortable setting goals, and they're comfortable putting tactics in place, and they're accessible. And they're someone that we can work with on really a daily basis to keep moving the ball forward. And that applies to home improvement companies, automotive, a lot of B2B companies. We do tend to focus maybe a little bit more retail because we have so
Sure.
many tools that we can use with running advertising, which again pulls from my background working in at Channel 8.
Sure.
And so we will run a lot of social media ads, Google search ads, and we buy direct, so we don't really use a third party. We buy on the open market, banner ads and video ads. So we're very, very competitive. We're very good in that space.
Well, that's wonderful. Yeah. So your customers, they generally stay with you through their life of their business.
We'd love them to. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen all the time, but
Yeah.
we have the majority of our customers we've worked with for over 10 years. We've been in business now over 16 years.
Yeah.
There's always changes that happen with different management that come in, but that's going back to that right fit. We're looking for the right partners so that we're an extension of their company, that we are their marketing arm.
Well, that's wonderful. When you think about it, you want somebody that wants they want their business to grow, and then they trust you, and you work together in a partnership. That's the big deal. Do you do a lot of TV advertising also, or is it more social media now?
It tends to be more digital.
Why is that, Mike, if you don't mind me asking?
Well,
Yeah.
I've lived through the shift really of traditional to digital marketing, and digital is foundational. It's the way, for those of us who remember, the yellow pages. We
Yeah.
used to look
Yeah.
through a directory and
Yeah.
find companies that we'd never heard of before. Digital is that foundation where now we go to search.
Yeah.
And if you're
Everybody's on there.
Yeah,
Yep,
and most of it
phones,
is mobile.
computer,
Yeah,
yeah.
about 70% of search is
Yeah.
mobile. And if you don't have a good foundation there,
Right.
then even when you spend money on other marketing, it's not as effective because folks may see or hear of your brand, through radio, television, newspaper. But when it comes down to it, they're searching online to find you,
Sure.
and then they're researching you.
Yeah,
Online.
that's the second thing. Everybody wants to know, what have you done, and, who are you? And they know, yeah.
And most people don't want to be sold the way they used 2 years ago.
Correct.
They want to learn and educate themselves and then buy without a pushy salesperson. So sales has changed
Correct.
dramatically.
Yes. Well, see, you're smart. You're smart enough to be able to figure that out, because when people try pushing, it does almost like the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
One of the big things we do is we analyze what the buyer's journey is.
Mm-hmm.
Where does it begin? Where do they realize that they have a problem to solve?
Mm-hmm.
And then how do they go about researching solving that problem?
Right.
And many of us, we'll go online, we'll start asking questions around our problem, and then we'll be served up different websites, different information, and we start learning how to solve that problem. And then we start moving into who is going to solve that problem.
Yeah.
And we make choices based on testimonials and based on case studies and validation.
Right.
But there's a journey to that. And to develop a marketing plan around that journey, you're really matching how people buy these days.
Sure.
And if you do that better than your competitors, then you're going to get that sale before your competitors do. So the mapping of the buyer's journey and then reaching
Right.
out to people
Right.
at different points in that journey gives you a competitive advantage.
That's true. Very much so. Wow. So if people want to reach you, Mike, you're located here in a wonderful studio. I totally love your studio. And I'm going to let you tell everybody where you're at.
Yeah, our office is located at 6780 South Fort Apache, Suite 120. We're in the back of this office building, and most of my team, they work virtually, so they work from home, or I have a couple that work in different states. But this is where I live. This is where the studio is. This is where you
Sure.
see me all the time.
Yep, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to come in and they want to try your business, your product, what would you tell them? How many months would you tell them to give you to be able to put a plan in place and see the results and that it works? Can you elaborate on that?
I can speak to that. I'm very, very big. I mean, there are really no silver bullets in
Right.
marketing and advertising unless you have, the best product that is just a standout and it solves so many problems, and
Right.
people are beating on your door to get it. It does take time. You have to develop that brand. You have to, reach out to people again in a more subtle way and educate them. So depending on the tactics you use, it's usually 90 days before we start to see some traction, but the real answer is 6, probably 12 months.
Yeah.
Because you're building on something. You're building a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're educating people, you need to put out a lot of content. So you're writing blogs, you're doing videos, you're building out your website pages. All of that needs to get indexed by Google. And then you're building up this reputation and getting more and more leads as you go. It takes time. Now, if you're investing in paid media and you have a good offer, we'll often suggest that companies start out, if they want the phone to ring right away, that they do something like a Google AdWords campaign.
Google AdWords campaign.
Google AdWords campaign,
Okay.
the pay-per-click ads that you see on Google. So Google is like 94% of all search. So if you do things right on Google, the other search engines will fall into place. But you're serving up ads, sponsored ads, targeted at very specific keywords that people are searching, and they're searching it. So if you put call tracking on that, you can link your ad spend directly to the calls and leads that you get, and that's really the fastest way. It's people that are looking for your product or lower in the funnel. They already know they have a problem. They're
Right.
searching for an immediate answer to that problem.
Yeah.
So that's the best tactic.
Yes.
And you really need to utilize a number of different strategies to help ramp that up, and that of course depends on budget and many other factors, kind of
Well,
different for everyone.
that's the big thing, budget. So if you were do you work with small companies, medium and large companies, or where is your niche, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure. We are likely to look for at least a $2,000 investment on a monthly basis.
Okay.
There's a level at which if you invest too little, it's just not going to have the
No.
return, right?
Right.
And
I
then it depends on the goals you're setting for yourself, and that adjusts according. If you have high goals, you're going to need to invest more money.
Okay. All right.
But yeah,
So-
all different sizes.
Yeah, that was the big thing, because when people are looking into this and they realize they have a problem, they don't know how much it costs. And you're local, but you're also nationwide too, or worldwide?
More nationwide. We really don't do too much overseas. We used to have some accounts in Canada several years ago, but
Yeah.
no, we're nationwide. The majority of our customers are in Vegas or in Southern Nevada, and then we work with people in New York and Texas and Utah. So it does vary.
Okay.
But we're also part of, when I first started, and I had all this traditional media background, and
Right.
I knew that things were moving towards digital. I invested in a company called WSI.
What is that?
So WSI is it's the largest international network of digital marketers.
Okay.
And
WSI.
yeah, there's
All right.
there's a little over 1,500 offices. They're independent contractors, but it's set up like a franchise system. So I
Okay.
invested in this franchise, and it gave me access to people and tools in the digital world, so I could learn that much faster, and I could
Wow.
utilize these tools and best practices from very knowledgeable people. WSI, being so large, also has access to Google, like most other companies don't,
Sure.
because it's such a large network. So that's really how we stay on top of all the cutting edge
Oh,
changes.
okay. So you're very smart. Yeah.
Well, that's how I
Yeah.
got started faster.
Yeah.
And I was able to utilize that knowledge and then bring it in house and train people. So we have that as a resource, and in that regard, we're international. If there is a need in another country, WSI has an office there, and we can collaborate and design a solution for them.
Well, that is really good to know.
It's
Yeah.
unique. I mean,
Yeah, I
again,
would say. Yeah, because a lot of people, every now and then, like I had businesses back east, and people would call up and say, "Oh, I'm a Google, I work for Google and all this other stuff." But see, you answered a question here, because a lot of people say they do and they really don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So to me, that's a big deal.
we probably don't promote it enough.
Yeah.
If there is a business that we haven't worked with, if there's a category of business,
Okay.
then, for example, we do work with credit unions. However, banks are a little bit different, and they're
Okay.
all highly regulated. And there's a couple of individuals inside WSI that all they do is work with banks.
Okay.
So we can pull them in and collaborate with them and bring that knowledge to our agency.
Wow. Well, see, I'm learning a lot of good things here.
Yeah.
So, folks, you ought to take a note and give Mike a call, because I'm sure he can help you. So, going forward, you've got availability if people want to talk to you about a teleconference or come in and see you, or
We're always happy to talk. I mean, having
Yeah.
just a discovery conversation. What are they trying to achieve in the business? What has worked in the past or hasn't worked in the past? I mean, we kind of get down to the basics and then start building on that.
yeah.
But no, happy to have a conversation. In today's world, you can kind of bootstrap it, but you really do need to budget for marketing.
Of course
and
you
a lot
do.
of companies,
Yes.
either don't have that capital,
Right.
or they haven't really thought about it, and we're happy to give you an idea of what kind of investment you need to make. But that's part of being in business. You have to
Yeah.
have a marketing
Yeah.
budget and a marketing plan.
Well, in other words, what we're trying to say is call before it's too late. That's a good thing. Yeah.
The other thing
Yeah.
that I'd like the audience to know is that a lot of people have questions about artificial intelligence, AI,
Yes.
and how that is really working both in the advertising world and in business. And the truth is, a lot of tools have come into play that now make our work a little bit faster,
Right.
but it does make it better. So it always needs a human touch, but there are a lot of AI tools that have made marketing stronger. And it's not as if it's taking jobs away or it's taking responsibilities away. It's actually improving it. And so
Yeah.
we do implement AI in what we do as a marketing company. We learn a lot from the WSI folks at what they do. We're also a HubSpot partner agency, which is another completely different platform.
What is the HubSpot?
HubSpot has a lot of AI built into it as
Oh,
well.
it does? Okay.
So HubSpot is a marketing and sales platform, and then it also has a lot of tools built into it that help businesses just operate.
Okay.
It started as a marketing platform. The founders of HubSpot came together and they analyzed how people buy, how people want to buy, and they created a software platform that really takes advantage of what I was just laying out with the buyer's journey. And so the software includes email marketing, it includes connections to ads, it hosts websites. You can spin up a landing page very quickly. You can change out CTA buttons, call to action buttons. It has a very, very strong marketing platform, but then they connected it to a CRM. And so
Okay.
now on the sales side, you've got salespeople that can see what marketing is doing, and marketing can see what sales is doing.
Right.
HubSpot is called this Smarketing.
Marketing. Okay.
But it's, a lot of companies, marketing and sales don't really interact. And this
Yeah.
platform allows them to interact. If you're using
Yeah.
a lot of different platforms and kind of plugging them together, if you use HubSpot, everything is native. Everything works together, and you get very actionable marketing information that you can optimize.
Wow. See, there's a lot of new things. I'm learning
Lots
a
of new
lot of
things.
stuff today. I really am. Yeah,
Constantly
this is,
evolving.
yeah, this is a big deal. It really is. Well, I'm glad I had you on the show today.
Thanks for
And
having me.
if, again, what is your phone number if anybody wants to call you, and your email also?
702-270-8772
Okay.
is our main number, and just mike@adtac.com.
Okay. And are you in almost every day, or would they call to make an appointment or talk to your secretary and set something up?
I got my phone on me all the time, so
Well, that's
just,
good.
Just call, and
Yeah.
you may get Bree, who answers the phone and is in the office all the time, but
That's great.
pretty easy to get a hold of me.
That's wonderful. So going forward, I want to have you back on, and I want to update everybody on all the latest things, but WSI and the AI, I mean, we've covered a lot of topics today.
Yeah, you could certainly dig into those that much more. The digital world of advertising, and that's why it's so important. I mean, traditional is still very important in building a brand and reaching large amounts of people at once. A lot of times with digital, it is so targeted, it is so niche that you
Right.
can kind of get lost in that. But digital is flourishing, and they're kind of merging again. You know, it's a lot of like television, for example. I mean, how many of us are just constantly watching streaming?
Right.
And
Most
that's
people.
that is, you know, really evolving as
Yes.
As an advertising medium, right? It falls under that digital space.
So if they're watching like the YouTube, or they're watching Instagram, and they're on Facebook and they're looking at videos and all kinds of stuff,
Or
What-
connected TV, you know,
Yeah,
Amazon
like your
Prime.
you're okay, Amazon Prime, and what, Apple TV, and
Apple TV. I mean, you know,
and
they're
Netflix,
all.
and
Netflix just started taking advertising a little
Did they?
while ago.
yeah,
But, you know, now we're designing advertising campaigns for connected TV, which is the term for that. And it's a good space to be in because you get good reach, but you don't have as much clutter as you do in some of the other, you know, traditional forms.
that's true. Yeah, because they're on there for a reason, watching something, and so you're able to pick the niche a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing I don't think people understand is, like, when you mentioned your AdWords, your hotspot words when you're talking about business. A lot of people, they just want to put their name out, and they don't understand why they don't get, you know, people looking at it. But it has a lot to do with the, you know, your keyword searches, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's everything, isn't it?
When you're looking for people that are researching or they're a little lower in the sales funnel, then, you know, a Google strategy is really best. So you're targeting keywords that people are typing in to solve a problem.
Right.
So they already know they have the problem. They just need somebody to solve it.
Yeah.
Then you kind of have to let people know, you know, that they do have a problem or what else is better out there.
That's
and
true.
that is more of what we call push marketing. So we're pushing messaging out to the masses. We're reaching people that should be, you know, thinking about the product and just making them aware. So that's top of the funnel, right?
Yeah.
So awareness is
True.
top of the funnel. And you really need to have a strategy for both so that you're creating more awareness and more demand, and then making it very easy for them to find you on the lower side of the funnel.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, this was great. We learned a lot today, didn't we? Well, I hope to have you back again. And I'm so glad
Absolutely.
you came on the show.
Yeah, thanks for
This
having
was
me.
the highlight of my week, my dear. Thank you so much.
You bet.
And
Thank you.
so, AdTech, Mike Watkins, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Well, that's our show for today. Bye.
So grab your headphones, let the journey start with Susie's Vegas tales. She's stealing the heart in the city of dreams. Let's laugh and play Susie's Las Vegas podcast. Come join us, sway.